I say this is a song for my fallen homies. Let's drink and dance, no need to be lonely. We got each other, gonna be okay. So let's drink to our fallen homies today. Got on the bus Sunday well before noon. Family and friends, adventure ending soon. Yeah, we've been on the road for close to 10 days. Mozambique, Josie, Pretoria ways. Yeah, we've seen a lot of things. Almost lost jazz, ran into the ocean, didn't swallow it yet. Held each other 2 times the trouble. With each one of you, my happiness doubles. And even in these times of despair, I will hold my homies near. Even in these times of despair, I will hold my homies near. So let's sing this song for our fallen homies. Drink and dance, no need to be lonely. We got each other, gonna be okay. So let's drink to our fallen homies today. I say this is a song for my fallen homies. Drink and dance, no need to be lonely. We got each other, gonna be okay. So let's drink to our fallen homies today. Back over the border, we got some news, yeah. Georgetown, we'll be seeing him soon on the other side. On the other side. Boy, how many of my friends are you gonna take? You're gonna take them all, make no mistake. So I will laugh at that and I will laugh at you. 'Cause what else are we gonna do? What else are we gonna do? We're gonna sing the song for our fallen homies. Drink and dance, no need to be lonely. We got each other, gonna be okay. So let's drink to our fallen homies today. I say this is a song for my fallen homies. Drink and dance, no need to be lonely. We got each other, gonna be okay. So let's drink to our fallen homies. Yeah, let's drink to our fallen homies today. Hey, hey.
How's it?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good, good. Can you see me fine?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this light right.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay.
So what have you been up to?
Cleaning the house.
Cleaning.
Just to make sure it was nice and neat for the interview, you know.
Yeah. And so what's this week been like for you?
Sure. Pretty chill, I guess. Just been studying lots.
Okay. Yeah.
You?
Yeah, same. Oh, well, I'm not studying lots. I'm just very busy, I suppose. been in front of interviews that I've been doing this recently, so it's been keeping me up and busy to late hours. But it's fun. I enjoy it. And now with your album currently, I really enjoy the latest video that you've done about your homies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. All in homies.
Yeah, and how's that been received?
Pretty well. It's going a bit slowly, but I've sent it out to my publicist, Warren Gibson, who's an awesome dude at Plug Music, and he's been punting it over the seas, and it was released on a Ghost Cult magazine in the US, which I'm pretty excited about, and the punk sites in the UK, which is super cool. And it's been released on radio in Australia, so it's getting a little bit of airplay down under. So I'd say it's growing pretty well. Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing from where you've come from, eh?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's amazing what happens when you actually put some money and effort into promoting your music.
True. I mean, you've really put a lot of effort into getting to where you are today. Can you explain to us some of that? I mean, obviously, I had an interview a while back with you where you put into writing, but can you maybe, for those watching, just explain a bit about your history, where you come from, and to where we are now?
Yeah. Well, start right at the beginning. My dad was a musician, so like I started playing keyboard when I was about 7 and recorder around about the same time, and then I started playing guitar shortly after that when I was about 10, and then moved on to bass when I was about 16 and got my double bass when I was 19. But while that was all happening, I started working in the music industry at Authentic Ideas, which used to manage Woodstock and all those alternative rock bands back in the late 90s, Wonderworm and Tweak and 16 Stitch and Cutting Jade, all of those things. Those are my dogs barking in the background. So I started working there as a shadow, and then moved on to doing some backstage management and production management assistant stuff there for a couple of years. Then went on to playing some music in the Cosmonauts, which was an all-girl surf rock band when I was about 19, and then got poached by the Death Valley Blues Band, and then started jamming and touring the country and playing festivals, which was quite exciting for a couple of years. And then, Death Valley kind of met its end, sadly. Our lead singer moved overseas, and since then I've been organizing shows, and I ran a circus for a couple of years and played bass in that, and I've been sessioning for many blues bands and a whole bunch of other projects, and now I'm just kind of focusing on my solo stuff. Yeah.
And I mean, you just recently been on a tour as well.
Well, recently it was over a year
ago,
now.
but it's pretty recent now. But yeah, you've just been on a tour, and how was that? Did you enjoy that?
Well, I think the last tour I actually did was Soweto, Durban, which was 2019 July, which was super cool. But I did a big tour through Namibia and Lesotho with Mac Bend at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, which was super exciting, but also a massive challenge. We took a Renault Kwid, which is a tiny little car, through the deserts for days and days and days. And I don't know if you've ever been on a road in Namibia, but their highways are dirt roads. And like in a tiny car, we had to go at like about 20 kilometers an hour most of the time. So we'd be driving about 16-hour days for 2 days in a row to get to shows. And then just hoping that we didn't get a flat tire or like anything in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, with one car passing every maybe 4 or 5 hours. It was a mad trip, but totally worth it.
Okay, and the Kwid made it back there and back.
Yeah, the Kwid made it all the way through South Africa, Namibia, Lesotho. Yeah.
You guys should punt that to. You guys should punt that to Renault.
Yeah, we actually filmed the whole thing. I've been in the process of editing the little bits, but like in between life, like video editing is not my strong or favorite point of things to do, but I'm getting there.
And what is it like to be touring in South Africa?
I really love it. I prefer touring in South Africa compared to playing in the big cities. Like the big cities, it's like dog eat dog world. Like it's very difficult to get paid for a show. There's no hospitality. When you get onto the road, like we can survive. Like every day we'll play a show. You generally get paid. You get put up for the night. You get fed. Like I love being on the road. We come back. We have profits. Like it's a really great experience. It's beautiful out there. You meet amazing people. You get in crazy situations. Like it's a really interesting place out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure you must meet some very interesting people along the way. 'Cause I mean, obviously you have more personal interaction with individuals then as well, because of smaller crowds.
Yeah, definitely, and you get to really feel like the small town vibes. Like we were in Port Nolloth, and like the pub we played at, we ended up staying with one of the pub owners and like partying with her and her friends, and like it was really cool. And then like every town you go to, you meet the locals and like get a little bit of a feeling for the town and like the country as a whole. Yeah.
And what instruments all do you play actually? Because I mean I've seen videos of you playing and stuff like that, but what everything do you play? Because you actually what you like a little studio that you've set up at home as well, hey?
Yeah. I've been working on setting up my studio over the past 10 years, and now it consists of double bass, a piano, drums, a whole bunch of guitars, bass guitars, acoustic bass guitars, ukuleles, a trumpet, which I can kind of play sometimes when I practice, but yeah, gotta practice that instrument, it's hard. But yeah, those are most of the things I play, melodicas, yeah.
And how are you experiencing lockdown?
Well, lockdown's kind of weird because like I work in the film industry, so when it happened, it was kind of just before my usual like film winter, where it's like, okay, cool, we kind of locked down in a sense, because the film industry dies, and I kind of become a graphic designer or find any other jobs or play music and do the things. So it was kind of going into my usual winter hibernation. But now, with the growing rate of unemployment and people being retrenched and trying to find work and freelance jobs and not being able to play live gigs, and I used to be able to go onto the streets and just busk when I had no money, and now I can't even do that, so I'm turning to online streaming and online support, and obviously trying to put money into getting streaming going and online viewings and some revenue coming in from there. So it's really a brave new world, but music was shifting anyway, so I guess it's a good time to get on the boat and float.
And how's the floating going so far?
Well, you know, it's not too bad. I'm hustling. I'm getting a few small jobs.
That's one of the things I admire about you. You keep on hustling, like continuously.
Yeah. Well, you got to. It's multiple revenue streams. You can't rely on anyone for your income these days. So yeah, now it's just like, how do I start a business and start making my own cash? But is that music? Is music my business? Is this what I should be doing, or should I be finding some other revenue streams? Like, it's always the big question. So
and
navigating life.
Yeah, and now this latest album, I mean, it's quite a good album. There's a bit of a romantic side to you as well in this that you show in this album. Explain a bit about that.
Well, like, I've always just been a songwriter, and I've written a lot of songs, but I've predominantly played in the punk scene.
Yes.
And I always thought I had to be someone and put out the certain songs, you know, that the punk scene wanted and where I was going. But like, yeah, I realized I have this great set of other songs that are really sweet and like deserve to be heard as well. Like Quibus from Black Cat Bones once told me, your songs are your babies, and you got to look after them. So now I'm looking after my babies and giving like all the good stuff. Well, good stuff. Yeah, I'll blow my own horn there. Just giving my work the justice, I guess.
Yeah.
Getting it out there. What it deserves. Yeah.
And I mean, I've obviously read a bit of reviews and seeing people's comments and stuff, and there's definitely a sense that you're somewhere along the lines of Patti Smith. Do you like that?
I do like that. Patti Smith is a legend, and she's awesome, and she just keeps going, and I have a lot of respect for her. She's amazing. So yeah, to be likened to Patti Smith is fuck yeah.
It's great. I'm glad you. I mean, you can see from the conversations that we've had over the years now. I mean, I've known you for quite some time now. You got a lot more. How can I say? You're a lot brighter than you've been before.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that. And I mean, you seem far more positive and like out there. You know.
Yeah. It's been a lot of work and therapy and healing, and I know the world and a lot of people on this self-love journey, and like, actually it's not a journey, it's a battle. Like, I have to fight myself every day to be positive and be out there, put out the right message, but also put the right content into me all the time, and just try to keep that positive flow going, which is tough, but I think definitely well worth it. Like, yeah, especially I went through a lot of trauma and realized after a lot of therapy, I've been through a lot of trauma in my life, and we put a lot of that on hold. We don't deal with it. We explode in different ways. It comes out in different ways, and we become dysfunctional in a sense. Like, so it's taken a lot of work to come out of a very, very, very dysfunctional state of anxiety and depression, and like, yeah, pull myself together again and get out there bigger and better and stronger. Yeah.
And as you spoke offline, you I think busy with a book or sort of about your life. I mean, that's exciting to put it down on paper.
Yeah.
Scary and exciting, I would think.
It's exciting and I guess cathartic in a way, but like I've been sitting, I wrote the first half like kind of 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
And it's been put on way since then, and it was just before my tour to the States where I got asked to speak at this punk conference about minority punk groups and being like minority in South Africa being white. Like, it was perceived very differently to how I thought it would be perceived in the States, where most minority groups are like of color and LGBTQI, and I was perceived as obviously white, which I am, and privileged, but very unknowing to those conversations of privilege and stuff like that. So like what they saw was me just talking about a bunch of white boys on stage, and this was something that the punk scene in the States is totally like against, like the minority groups, and it's just like to them it's this white boys club and the power is all these white guys, and like, yeah, so that's what they just saw me talking about, and the speech got taken very badly. And then yeah, so since then I've had to think a lot and change the way I look at life a lot, and really learn and unlearn and grow. And I think in South Africa that's really important. So I really want to write the second half of that book, which will be dealing with that kind of growth in the music industry and where I'd like to see it going and what's happening in South Africa. And because the book was like a lot very focused on my scene, which was very white, and then kind of in the circus, like kind of starting to expand. And I played in the Brother Moves On, and like I can understand actually when I was like speaking how I was critiqued for using people of color as objects in my white narrative, and that's like something that you kind of have to unlearn not to do. Like, how and why am I, and what are my motives for making music, making multicultural events? What does it mean to put all these white boys on stage every time? Is there a significance to that? Should we be doing it? Shouldn't we be doing it? But like, yeah, there was a huge journey of personal growth that went through that. So yeah, that's kind of where the book is going. Yeah.
And that's exciting though. It's great when you can put things like that down on a piece of paper, onto paper and that. And
yeah.
You know, and it's like somebody else said to me, like, what we now do now can maybe help somebody else sort of in their journey.
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, I think it's exciting. It's great.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm right behind you with what you've been doing and stuff like that, and just seeing you blossom, if you want to call it that, over the last while. I think it's such a fantastic thing. You really have, musically you've also grown, and you can see it the way your music and your lyrics now are like almost one. You know, like you can see that symbiosis, if you want to call it that like all it's one. So it's nice to see that happen.
That's very nice to hear you say that. Thank you. It's actually quite weird. I was watching a video of myself from 2014 the other day, and like one of my songs, like Gypsy Drifting, which I play quite often, but it was like such maybe one of my first or second gigs, like as a new artist, like playing that stuff off solo, and like it was very stilted. And like looking at my performance then and looking at it now, like it's awesome that you've seen the groceries. I have myself.
Yeah, you definitely have. And I love the new direction. I think it's far more, what can I say, interactive with the people who listen, because it's got an emotional sort of attachment to it. You know, like when you listen to it, you hang on to the words.
Yeah.
So it's great that way. And so yeah, I really wish you very well with your career forward on this.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Yeah. So that's good. And And where do you see what do you see going forward for yourself so far? Or are you just sitting here, just going as it happens?
No. Definitely plans. I'd like to keep going with the video releases and putting songs out there, trying to get onto radio as much as possible. But I'd really like to do an Australian tour, hopefully in 2020 when all this COVID madness is over. So
Yes.
hopefully the radio play I'm getting over there and a little bit of feedback that side will go a long way, and maybe see where that goes. That's, I think, the big plan at the moment. Yeah.
And your music has a bit of what I call nomadness to it. You know, like it's a journey music, music of journey, so I say.
Definitely.
So Australia will probably suit you, because I mean it'll be like going on journey, touring. That seems like sort of your character.
I think it would be an interesting place to go, because I've heard some interesting things about Australia. I know the music would go down well there, but I think my political message would be interesting, knowing Australia's history with Aboriginals, and so I think it could be a controversial experience, maybe, with some of my songs that relate back to certain privileges.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, but I think you're more prepared for it than you were when you went to America.
Oh, definitely, 150 million times more.
So maybe just that just being that bit more prepared and sort of ready for it. I'm sure you could breach those barriers if it needs to be done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even reaching them in South Africa, like learning how to deliver a song and introduce it in such a way that it engages the audience instead of repelling them instantly. Oh my God, this is like, I don't want to talk about this shit on the club. Like, you know, not on a Saturday night, not while I'm eating my dinner. Never actually want to engage with stuff. So you kind of got to be like clever about it. And I think I'm getting to a point where I'm learning how to do that. Like,
Yes.
the next album I want to release is actually going to be all the political stuff I haven't put down. So the last one was very romantic, and the
Yes.
next album is going to be all the political musings, and I want to go a little bit more like folk hip hop.
Yes.
Like, I love hip hop. I'm huge into hip hop, so like, yeah, that's one of my next things on the list of things to do. But
Yeah,
I'm very bad at it.
I've seen the odd where you've done sort of some dancing and things like that as well, related to the hip hop thing.
Yeah.
When did you get into all of that? When did that become part of who you are?
Sure, I've loved hip hop since I was like in high school. I used to go to like hip hop gigs in Josie at like Go-Go Bar back in the day. Like, yeah, it's always been deeply a part of me. I've always been interested and involved in the culture, not as much as the punk scene and the alternative rock scene.
Yeah.
But like, absolutely love it. I'm still quite involved in it now. Like, so I got into breakdancing about a year ago, but like, not very good at it, but it's a lot of fun, and it's just,
I'm sure I'll just
you have to be in to be a breakdancer.
I'm sure I'll dislocate a hip or two if I had to try and break dance. So you want that for me? But yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, it's so great when you meet people that are so talented, and you can see they're actually more talented than you are in so many different facets. You know, it's so encouraging to see that. And again, wish you well in this adventure that you got ahead of yourself. You know.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no, listen, like I said, we're always there to support you, and thanks for, by the way, thanks for hooking me up with Ernesto as well. I mean, what an amazing guy there as well.
Yeah, also working super hard to get the music industry and people in it out there. And yeah, you guys are just like awesome for doing that. And as you say, I have many like talents, but you have many talents yourself, and like that inspires me all the time. Like,
Okay, thanks.
keep it up. Love it.
No, that's cool. And another thing I like about like you and Ernesto is that you guys have actually a passion for the local music scene. You guys drive a hard message when it comes to the local scene, trying to make it seen, known, and not just in one sort of category either. So how did that also come about? I mean, you definitely have a major passion for the local scene.
I have no idea. It's just, I suppose, I found myself in it, and I found there were a lot of problems with it and difficulties, and I just had to try and make things work, and you've got to try find new avenues and stuff to do that. And I guess it's the problem solver in me. It likes to fix things, so, or make things work. How does it work? Work. Yeah. So I guess. Yeah, my passion for music. I mean, a whole bunch of my master's research went into like figuring out what the South African music industry was and like trying to better it and trying to see what to do. But like,
Yes.
sure, it's a huge question.
It is, eh?
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that there are people on the forefront of just sort of trying to get that thing across, you know, because it's important to have our local music scene out there and sort of seen, because we often get carried away with like the overseas bands and stuff. We like, you know, and we compare a lot sometimes with the overseas bands.
Yeah, we've always had that like kind of, we've got to compare ourselves to those bands, and if we're not doing what they're doing, we're not as cool. And it's really weird how like local audience look to international bands before they look at their local scenes. Like,
Yes.
I mean, there's huge support for the local scenes, not nearly as huge as it could be. Like, it's really weird. I think we've always had a problem where like America and UK music has the money to be on our radio stations.
Yes.
And radios make money off international music. Why would they turn to local music when they can't make money off it?
Yeah, and I mean locally we have some really talented musicians. So and yet many of them sort of go by life almost unnoticed.
No,
Because-
it's really insane. Like even like the guys who are at the top of our like country are like nowhere overseas. But then you get these really odd acts that are like nowhere here and really big overseas.
Yes, you
Like,
do get that.
Yeah.
And-
DJ Spooko, who died a couple of years back now, actually, but amazing DJ from Atlasfall. He was huge in Europe, and like, yeah, very not known here because his music was too, like, kind of rural
Yes, yes.
in a sense.
Yeah,
For
but,
local
but
audience.
but we have some unique musicians though. Yeah, I mean, and I love it when we incorporate some of the elements of our local sort of musical scene, not just incorporating overseas music, which we often do as a sort of
Yeah.
natural thing. It's nice when we kind of like say, hey, wait a minute, there's some of this local sound, let's put it into our music, and you do that as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I think I was largely influenced, like, because I play with Matt Bend a lot. Like, he was very influenced by Sid Kitchen. I think he was taught actually by Sid, and Sid was also very African influenced. So this kind of learning progression of playing has come through that kind of line of
Yes.
driving. And I just love me some Scandi.
So when you put away your guitar and you just want to get away from the world, where do you go? What's your sort of retreat?
I like to go to the ocean to surf or swim or walk on the beach or the mountains to hike, or I do some yoga or I dance. Like, yeah, that's kind of how I switch off these days. I play Candy Crush. I really like Candy Crush. It's my new obsession and addiction.
I used to play that a couple of years back quite regularly, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like if I needed to switch off, like I'll totally do that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I sometimes my kids have got like Tetris, so I would spend hours on a Tetris. Yeah.
That game is amazing. I was a Tetris master when I was a kid. Like me and my best friend Amelia played that game for days. Like, oh, I play TV games. Like, I'm big into. My boyfriend's got his PS, but
Yeah.
like me, I love my old school Nintendo games. I'll play like Islander and Mario for days.
Now we actually at our home, between my wife and I, we actually collect those things. So we've got the little Donkey Kongs and those kind of things. So yeah.
Amazing. I've still got like a whole 5-liter ice cream tub of like those 8-bit games.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Yeah,
so
I have a
awesome.
whole gaming console. I've got a Mega Boy still. But like, best way to do it now, I think these days, is just get a Raspberry Pi and you can download all the games on there with the NES.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-
Take them all, get the physical controllers.
Yeah, we've got
like that.
yeah we got 8-bit, 16-bit, yeah. So we're kind of like into all of that, the real old school stuff, you know. So yeah,
Yeah, me too. Love it.
come hang over with us sometime.
Definitely when I'm on tour down that side of the world.
Yeah, if you ever come, don't be scared to give me a shout. We'll give you a place to stay and a place to eat.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it always helps, you know. Like
Yeah,
I've
on
said
the
to many
road, it's
people.
always-
I've said to many people, come through here. Don't be scared to say, listen, hey, I need some help, maybe a bit or whatever, you know. We're there. So
Sounds
yeah,
like a little musician. Hide away over there. You're in, is it Elizabeth, hey?
yeah, Port Elizabeth, yes, yeah. We,
Got town that is so difficult to reach musically. Like, what venues do you actually have there?
not as many as we used to have. I mean, back in the day there were a few, but even then, our music people here are not as interactive as elsewhere. You know, like, so you can play a set and like you don't get any feedback, so you sit there like going, am I good? Am I interacting? You know, is that you know, like, you know, you leave, you sometimes leave without knowing like what the audience thought of you. At
Yeah,
times.
but that's South African audiences in general, I find. Like, people go to the bars to drink where the music is that they will be seen.
Yes.
Like, it's a very, like, kind of cool thing sometimes. But I suppose in Port Elizabeth, it's a smaller place where people go to the bar and the music has to be on, and it might
Yeah.
be an inconvenience to people. You're never quite sure. But I mean, I feel like that a lot of the time when I'm playing,
Yeah.
like, because, you know, you get those club gigs where it's really not, like, anyway meant to be a music venue, and here you are in this corner, and it's like, am I background music? Am I foreground music? Are people interested in this? I have no idea. It's like, at least when like you play in Europe, like, people listen. It's really, really different. And even in the States, like, people listen to music and they feedback and they talk to you when you're on stage and they appreciate things. It's like totally different listening culture. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is different. I mean, I've had several conversations, even to the people last night, and I spoke to this guy from the band White Collar Sideshow, and they haven't charged for a show in 14 years, yet they are full-time musicians, and you know, they just put a hat out basically at the end of it and say like whatever you feel like, you know, and they've managed to survive like that. And I was listening to myself and say,
That's amazing. Hey, like Matt and I, a lot of the time on tour, like we put out our hats and we make good money like out of the hat. People are generous if they like the music. It's like one day we were in Wilderness, literally sitting
Yeah.
on a street corner just rehearsing, and this American woman just walked up and started throwing 100 rand notes at us every time we finished a song to play another song. And she did that 5 times. We made 500 rand.
well, that's awesome to hear. I mean, that's really awesome to hear. It gives me more positivity for the SA music scene if that's how it is, you know.
Yeah, like it really can be really good with the hat. Like I've survived as a musician on the hat like a lot. Yeah.
Because people can be resistant normally if you say, hey, listen, we're going to charge like X amount of money for a show. So it's good to see that, like, if you're going to put a hat out and guys then give out of their own will.
And it's awesome. And when they get a little bit drunk, they're like, yeah, totally. And you go around and be like, hey, my name's a musician. And they're like, oh, why not? I'm a little bit wasted. That was fun. Like,
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, music is a wonderful thing, eh?
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
cool.
Like,
But yeah, so like I was saying with like my friends, so they've been sort of doing it like that. So it's amazing to see that their culture is sort of coming to happen here. I mean, that in PE, I think the best concert I saw for myself was Fuzzy Gish.
oh my gosh, they're like my childhood favorites. Like, absolutely love Fuzzy. They're like
Yeah.
my number one band in the world.
And it was fun to just meet the guys as well, because I actually think I spoke to Jay first, and obviously got to meet the guys when they arrived and stuff, and had a meal with them before the show and stuff like that. And it was really off the hook. That was the first time I saw, like, really saw PE come like almost like alive in a concert, like in a big concert,
Yeah.
It was cool to see.
All the fun kids must have been out.
Oh,
It's like Roscoe and Jack. I know someone's down there.
yeah, we've got some good bands now. There's one or two guys, but I must admit myself, I've sort of detached a little bit from the scene, mainly because when I got signed to American bands, that's sort of like and employed by American radio station and stuff like that. There, my focus was that, even though I was here.
Yeah.
So I kind of missed out on a decade of South African music.
Sure.
And I feel bad for that, because I actually have a passion for it.
Yeah, but you can always go back and
Yeah.
do the research.
But you got that site. Is it you that runs that one site where you can download a lot of the South African punk bands and stuff like that?
No, that's Sean Richards and Conley. Like way back in the day, it's we did this records. Like me and Sean used to run an event called Poke the Park, which was kind of a we did this records thing, and I was kind of involved in getting bands to put their music on, but like not really that involved. But I'm still an admin on the webpage. But it's all Sean and it's all Conley at the moment. They organize the leftover track tours and all the cool stuff that's happening. We did this record. Yeah, Sean and Conley, they're amazing. Also, totally dedicated to promoting South African music, dudes. Like,
Because there's an awesome site.
Which was dope.
Okay, because there's an awesome site to go on if you want to if people want to see SA music at it,
Yeah, no, it's really cool for like the kind of alternate underground scene. Like
Yeah.
It's a great collection, and I love their mixtapes that they make every year. They're super cool as well.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
All my stuff is on Bandcamp, but if you do, the new album is on all the streaming platforms, so you can find me all over there. I have a YouTube channel. Please follow my YouTube channel. To stay in touch with things, the best way is Facebook.
Okay. I'll at the end of this. I'll put links and stuff in it, and to everything of yours and stuff like that as well, just to try and help you out there. And if people want to donate or sort of get behind you, how do they do that?
I guess at the moment it's buying my albums and streaming my music. I'll have a t-shirt on sale soon, and I think I'm going to set up a Patreon account. It's about time I did that.
I think so, yeah, do that.
Apparently people might support my music, and that might be cool.
Yeah, I say do that.
Just focus on being a musician instead of working all the time in various other industries to survive. Yeah.
So what are you currently then doing? Are you working now currently?
At the moment, I've got this freelance job which hasn't started yet. It's for a property development company. It's with an estate agent who does virtual walkthrough tours of property.
Yeah.
So now I'm a junior videographer and video editor, going to houses and doing that. But the job hasn't really started yet. We've done our training, so hoping that'll start soon. But it's freelance and quite precarious, so always out looking for work all the time. Studying computer programming and hoping to get a foot in the door and an internship somewhere in the next couple of months.
And your CV seems to be growing.
Yeah, it's growing, but like in which direction and who will employ you when it looks like that?
But it's nice. It looks like you got colourful life.
Yeah, it's definitely been colourful.
Yeah. And like again, it's so nice seeing you face to face as well.
Yeah, it's lovely to chat with you.
Yeah, and like I say, like you're always welcome down here with us and to be part of our family here. So
amazing. Well, when this album is done, when this COVID is done, I would like to do a tour around the country again to launch the album properly. So
yes. Are you do a proper relaunch of it or just?
Yeah, I'd actually because I haven't printed either of the albums yet, so I'd like to print them both physically and do a proper tour of both the albums with merchandise. Do it the proper way, because I've always just toured with music and Matt's always had all his merchandise, and I've always just been like, I have an album online. Yeah, but now I think it's time to actually get out there. The people don't really have CD players anymore, so what do you put it on, like USB stick? I'm still thinking about this. I mean, I got handed a tape at gig the other day, like a band from the States was touring here. They gave me a tape. And I have a tape player, so I can totally play their tape, which is awesome. But how do people listen to music? And how would you sell that at a gig? Do you give them maybe a coupon to like your Spotify thing and be like, download it here, donate, or I don't know.
Well, you're gonna have to figure that out, eh?
Yeah, these are the mysteries in my life at the moment.
You know what you guys should do? It's like, especially I've noticed people love it. It's like maybe like get involved with some video while you're playing to have some storyline in the background.
Yeah, I've actually thought of that. I've got an alter ego, Cami Chaos, that plays with double bass, and she's all like bluesy and stuff.
Yes.
And I've like kind of thought of doing her with like a backing like comic book story as her lone vigilante kind of vibe.
I think it'll be cool, you know, like, I mean, obviously, I'm talking, and I mean, it takes money to do things like that. But I mean, it could be a cool sort of thing to take along with. It's like the story behind, and I even think like your latest album now has got that sort of, the songs have that ability to be able to have a story behind it.
It is true. It is true indeed.
So
Yeah, it's always good to couple the visuals with the performance.
Yes, and then it might hook a few more people in. So it's so nice, like I said, chatting to you. And the next question I have is like, what did you say to a budding musician who's starting out now in this climate? What would your best advice be to somebody who's like starting out?
In this COVID climate, I would say get your music to the point where you want to put it out there, and then brand yourself really well. Like, come out with a bang and like take yourself seriously.
Yes.
And be like, here's my name, this is my logo, here is my Facebook page, and come out with your first track recorded and make a fuss of it, and send it out to as many blogs and places that you can, and take yourself seriously is the best advice I can give a young musician. Don't fuck around like me for 10 years, just kind of going with the flow. Like, take yourself seriously, do the things you promise yourself you're gonna do, make your music videos, record your songs, put effort into it. Like,
That's brilliant.
It's not just about the songs. It's not just about the songs.
No, it isn't, eh?
It's fun, but like, get it out there, find your audience. Read up about how to find your audience. Read up on marketing. Study business. Yeah, that's what I wish I'd done. That's what I tell any young musician. Study business. Yeah.
And are you doing that yourself now?
Very informally over the years through trial and error, yes. But I should take my own advice and definitely put more business studies into play and financial plans and such things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I wish you all the best. I really do. And it's so nice chatting to you. You're a fantastic person, and I really think you're a fantastic musician. So we really, I mean, I do wish you the best in this thing going forward. And best of luck with the new album, eh?
So, thank you so much, Don.
So good, eh? I'll say bye to you now, and we'll keep chatting. I'll keep up, sort of be in the background supporting you, and we wish you all the best. Okay. Cheers, Cam. Okay. Bye.
I don't wanna wanna be your girlfriend. I wanna be your lover. Even though I've known you long enough to feel like a brother. We're like satellites passing by each other in an endless sky, not knowing any other. And I wanna get lost in the madness with you. Walk deserts and oceans by the edge of the world. We could fly, we could fly, but we're like satellites passing by each other in an endless sky, not knowing any other. And I wanna reach out, but I don't know how. And all I feel is that we fucked this up now. Yeah, we fucked this up now. Yeah, we fucked this up now. Oh, it's been days on the road and we're on our way home. I'm feeling so scared about being alone on the other side, without you by my side. Oh, it's been days on the road and we're on our way home. I'm feeling so scared about being alone on the other side, without you by my side. But we're like satellites passing by each other in an endless sky, not knowing any other. And I wanna reach out, but I don't know how. And all I feel is that we fucked this up now. Yeah, we fucked this up now.